Good morning, my little fellow weirdos. Dear Lord Almighty, this administration, Lord, is absolutely insane. And now the cruelty is before 8 o'clock in the morning, we have to hear this from Pam Bondi. Yes, people.
Thank you all for joining us today. We're excited to be here for the launch of the Task Force to Eradicate Anti-Christian Bias as outlined in the President's Executive Order.
What happened to the government will have no religion as our national religion? What happened? What happened to Constitution, Pam?
Joining me today are members of the task force and individuals who have been impacted by the anti-Christian bias. Together, this task force will identify.
There's an anti-Christian bias? Well, if there is one, it's because y'all shove your fucking religion down our throat in every fucking aspect. At every place we turn, you want to shove Jesus at us. Maybe that's why, if there is an anti-Christian bias, it's because you shove it in our faces. You know, Jesus said, preach the word, go forth and share it with others. It didn't say share it with them, and if they don't want to listen, shove it in their faces, stand on top of their fucking chest, shove it down their throats, shove it up their ass, force them to. I don't recall that in the Bible, do you? Let's continue, Pam.
Identify any unlawful anti-Christian policies, practices, or conduct across the government. Seek input from the faith-based organizations and state governments to end anti-Christian bias.
So now you want the states to start it too, right? Right? You national Nazi bitch.
Find and fix deficiencies in existing and regulatory practices that might contribute to the anti-Christian bias.
Fuck you, bitch.
As President Trump has stated, the Biden administration engaged in an egregious pattern of targeting peaceful Christians while ignoring violent anti-Christian offenses. The president is right.
So only Americans right now are Christian, and everybody else that's not American, that's in America, are attacking the Christian religion? You know it wasn't all Christians that came over, right? It's not like they said, okay, the Nina, the Pinta, the Santa Maria. Okay, you Christian? Okay, go ahead. You Christian? Oh, you're not? Get the fuck out of here. I know you ain't Christian, Bob. I don't remember hearing about that. Do you guys? Oh, continue, Pam.
Biden's Department of Justice
Blonde, white, Pam.
Abused and targeted Christians, pro-life.
Abused Christians? Are we in the Middle East, Pam? No, we're not.
Christians were arrested and imprisoned for peacefully praying outside abortion clinics.
First of all, if they were outside protesting an abortion clinic, there's probably a good chance they were not peaceful, especially since you had to make sure that was one of the first words. Peacefully praying. Oh, they were Christians. Yeah. How about, who was that? Oh, wasn't it Marjorie Taylor Greene's ex-husband harassing, what was it, Muslim gals? Quietly praying? Oh, yeah. Is that the story you're thinking of, Pammy? Is that it, Pammy? Because that was a racist bastard that's white persecuting Muslims praying quietly. Yeah, that was the story, Pammy.
FBI spied on traditional Catholics in their parishes. President Biden declared...
Wasn't it a while ago that you guys were saying that Catholics weren't really Christians? Otherwise they'd be called Christians and not Catholics. I remember you saying that. Because Christians and Catholics aren't really necessarily the same. Otherwise they wouldn't be called Christians and Catholics, right? They'd be the same name. Okay. Just checking, Pammy.
Easter Sunday to be Transgender Day of Visibility. No longer.
Fuck you, you Nazi nationalist bitch.
Vandalism against churches was 8 times higher in 2023 than...
It's usually the white people vandalizing the damn churches. It's the atheists or something. Why don't you talk about all the bombings and the shootings in black churches, you know, like Baptist churches and Episcopal churches and stuff like that. Isn't that what Donnie's family was, Episcopal? I don't remember a whole lot of Christian churches defiled and people murdered and shot up and bombed. I do remember quite a few things like Muslim or Jewish, things like that. But I don't remember too many Christian ones. Tell us about those, Pammy.
It was in 2018. And it's at President...
Wasn't that when your man was president in 2018? How come he didn't stop it then, Pammy? Huh? Because it really wasn't a fucking problem, was it? Yeah, because 2018, that was Donnie's time.
Since Trump's directive, we ended those abuses at the Department of Justice on day one. We dropped 3 ongoing cases against pro-lifers and redefined the face...
Pro-lifers are not pro-life. They're pro-birth. They want that person to pop that baby out of your vagina, and then they don't fucking care about you. Then, okay, we got you to give birth. Scoot along now. No, we were supposed to help you? No. We're just pro-birth. After that, no soup for you. No soup!
Act to ensure that abuse would not continue and that American tax dollars were not used to support the weaponization of our legal system to target Christians.
Guess what? You're supposed to be protecting all religions and all religious damages, shootings, vandal. You're supposed to be protecting all.
Just a few weeks ago, we convicted a man in Arizona for a plot to bomb Christian churches. The Department of Justice will protect religious liberty for Christians and for all Americans. We'll work closely with everyone around this table and take a whole-of-government approach to solving this problem.
Why isn't it anti-religion task force? Why isn't it... See, that's not what you want to do. You're not trying to protect Christianity, okay? You're supposed to be not biased, first of all. Read your Constitution, honey. Bless your heart. You're so fucking stupid. Yeah. Read your Constitution before you start citing things from it. Yeah, Pammy. Little baby Pammy is just too damn stupid. Let's continue.
And ultimately, protect Americans' First Amendment rights. The First Amendment isn't just a line in the Constitution. It's the cornerstone of our American liberty. It guarantees every citizen the right to speak freely, worship freely, and live according to their conscience without government.
Then why isn't the task force anti-religious bias task force? How about that? No, no, no. You mentioned Christianity. When are you going to slip that national Christianity into it? Let's watch.
Interference. Protecting Christians from bias is not favoritism. It's upholding the rule of law and fulfilling the constitutional promise. Thank you to President Trump.
No, it's cherry picking one religion to do it with. That's not with the Constitution. That's against the Constitution, Pammy.
We have an incredible opportunity, all of us around this table, to protect the rights of all citizens from discrimination based on their religious beliefs.
Then why doesn't she say that? Why do they specify it's for the anti-Christian talk? Just because you cite it saying that all religions, your task force is not named the All Religions Task Force, is it? To ensure, because that would be ensuring that there's no bias, people are not, being obnoxious, being pushing. Gee, how come it's the anti-Christian and not the anti-religious task force? Why isn't it that? And why is secular religion together? Tell me that, Pammy. Why is secular laws including religion? Doesn't this Constitution say you're not supposed to have a national religion? I think it does.
And thank you all for being here based on this executive order, and I look forward to doing great work together. Now, Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche has a few words.
Want to hear the rest of what everybody else has to say?
Good afternoon, everybody. First, thanks everybody for coming, and for members of the task force for being here today and for your commitment to this important effort. If you look around this table and the leadership that's here, I know that combined with our shared determination to establish sound, effective policies and to push back against any form of anti-Christian or anti-religious bias that has taken root within the federal government.
Why are you being redundant? Anti-religious, anti-Christian. Christian is included in religious. So if they really meant anti-religious, just you can't, disparage any religions kind of thing, it just would have said anti-religious. But they shoved in the anti-Christian. Do you see what they're doing? Because they think you're stupid. They think you're dumb. Christian is part of religion. But not all religion is part of Christianity. You see what they're saying? So first they're saying all religions. They're trying to drill that into your head. No, this is for all religions. But then they specify Christianity. Take note of that. This is what Republicans are famous for. Titling things like the SAVE Act, which is basically not saving democracy, it's hindering democracy. Those kind of things. They name shit like the fraud, waste, abuse, when that is actually what they're looking for, so they can cut it out and then revert it to themselves. Okay? They're sneaky with how they say things, because then legally, Donald knows all about this. Legally, they can say, oh, well, I said I think that's what it is. I didn't say that's what it was. You know what I'm saying? They're very tricky. So he says, well, we mentioned all religions, and that's supposed to make it okay, when what you're really doing is concentrating specifically on people talking anti-Christian things. That's not freedom to worship. That's freedom to worship while we kind of corral you into a smaller and smaller shoe. That's what that is.
This will allow us to carry out the President's executive order. I want to echo what Attorney General Bondi just said. Supporting the free expression of faith is not just a constitutional principle. It is something that
it's
all
named
forms
just
of civil
anti-Christian,
government should be
not
encouraged.
anti-religious.
At its core, the executive order we're here to talk about today affirms a fundamental truth. Every individual has the freedom to choose their religious faith. And once made, that choice should never be subject to discrimination or bias.
Then why are you doing it?
Now, unfortunately, over the past several years, we've seen troubling signs to the contrary. We have witnessed actions that suggest an underlying bias against people of faith, particularly Christians.
Particularly Christians. Are you listening to this? They're trying. They keep... Okay. Repetition is a tactic. Let me explain this to you. It is what MAGA uses. It is a subliminal thing. It's the same way they just keep repeating something, slipping it in here and there, and acting like what they said 10 minutes ago is an actual fact. Then 10 minutes later, they take that actual fact that they've spent those 10 minutes establishing, right? So this is what that is, right? And then 10 minutes more, they say, you're hearing it all over. People are saying it. Yeah, you said it 20 minutes ago and 10 minutes ago. But see, you're not really telling a lie. That's how they work to get out of legal shit. They'll do something like that when it's very obviously they're trying to do A, but they're making sure they put enough words, but no more than just enough to allay that legality thing. But they keep saying that. Every couple minutes they'll repeat the same phrase. It's called brainwashing people, and that is what they do. Then they just, the next time he talks, he says, they're saying it all over. The only person that was saying something that he claimed everybody was saying, the only person was him. He said it at that place, and then he said it at that place. So that is, people are saying, well, they are, but it's only the one person saying the same thing. And they don't connect it. People are saying it. You're the only one I've heard say it. You say it over and over and over, but you're the only one saying it. They don't get that far. Their little brains, like, why do your brains stop right there?
To make sure this never happens again in America. We will investigate what went wrong, uncover facts.
Where was all that concern the first time when he let all his racists and bigots loose on the world? What happened? Last time he was president, we're only not even 100 days in, dudes. Do you remember all the attacks on Muslim people and Asian folks? Do you remember? I don't recall anybody doing Christian people being attacked. I don't remember that.
And ultimately chart a path forward. So today, we're going to hear from individuals who will share their personal stories that reflect broader trends and challenges from the Biden administration's policies.
I don't want to hear this fucking shit, and I'm not going to subject y'all to it. The fact is, we all know when their distraction is in another room, and y'all can think clearly without them murmuring in your ear all the time. That's what it is. They just keep saying it. Remember that. That's why I've been interrupting, because that's what they do. They'll slide little things in. Somebody will be saying something like, not always, just sometimes. Not enough to disturb the whole meeting, but enough to get their little slide, their little earworm in. And that's different than an RFK brainworm. Yeah, an earworm is just something that your head just keeps playing over and over again. It's like a catchy tune or something like that. Yeah. And a brainworm is something that eats your brain and then dies in your brain. Yeah, because it ate your toxic brain. That's what RFK has. Yeah, earworm, brainworm, very different. Yeah. Yeah. You keep saying that, hearing that, right? If it's anti-religious bias task force, then why did you name it the anti-Christian task force? Why, Pam? Why?